And take 2, 1.
One. We just hit record.
I think I already did take 1 in my... Hey guys, I'm Anna.
And I'm Brian.
And we are Those Annoying Vegans! And
here we are.
We are doing another mukbang.
3 in a row for you kids. It must be Christmas. Except it's not. It's past that. These are some delicious cupcakes, as you can see. And they are green and purple, like the Incredible Hulk.
What could they be made out of?
You guys probably would not believe us if we told you, but these are, in fact, kale cupcakes.
With tofu frosting. They are the most vegan cupcakes you will ever have.
Yeah.
Yet, you would never be able to guess. I shared these with my class, and you shared them with your coworkers, and everyone was shocked.
Yeah, they're really good.
And
they don't taste like kale and tofu, by the way.
No.
They taste like cupcakes.
And they are healthy. We got them from this wonderful book, the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease book by the Esselstyns. So if you'd like the recipe, check out this amazing book. Unfortunately, we can't share it with you. I believe we would get in trouble.
Yes, turns out publishers want money for books that they publish. So should we bite into these?
Yeah.
Let me see this. Look at this.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They are naturally sweetened.
SOS free, meaning salt, oil, and sugar free. No added salt, no added sugar, no added oil. But the natural salt, sugar, and oil that is in the plant products are still there. That's the thing when they say like oil-free or sugar-free diets or whatever. Like, we don't mean 0 sugar or 0 oil. It's just about controlling where you get your sugar and oil. So if it comes from a whole plant food, it's fine.
This is why we have chamomile. Which is very hot.
Chamomile.
1 second. So what we wanted to talk about today was a series of Instastory posts that Bonny Rebecca posted last night or yesterday regarding the backlash that she has received since posting her I Am No Longer Vegan video. And since Instastories are generally up for 24 hours, these will probably be gone by the time you watch this video, so we wanted to share them with you and talk a little more about what's been going on.
And while we were hopeful, you know, at the end of our last mukbang that, hey man, maybe Bonnie's gonna get some advice, maybe she's gonna keep looking for answers, she's gonna keep an open mind, maybe she'll try to resolve these health issues with a plant-based diet based on her health parameters. It kind of looks like that's not the case. Looks like her mind is pretty much made up.
Yeah.
She's no longer vegan. And that's that, based on what she wrote. So here is what she wrote.
Hi. ...
Very ominous.
Yeah, when I read this, I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna be good or bad?
No. If you hear someone say, we need to talk.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, about ice cream?
No.
It's never about ice cream.
So, it's been 6 days since uploading the video, and I feel called to respond to some assumptions or things I missed in the video. If you don't know what I am talking about, I uploaded a video about how I am no longer vegan. If you want to know why or what happened, please watch that video on my YouTube channel. In the next few stories, I am just going to respond to some of the main things people are saying. You were never vegan, just plant-based. If you don't think I was ever vegan, that's okay. I know in my heart what I believed and how I lived my life. I lived and breathed veganism and invested so much of my time to spreading awareness about it and making informative videos. Not just about the diet, but the ethics and environmental side too. It was my whole identity, and to break away from that has been so incredibly hard. Just because I had to change my diet does not mean I was never vegan.
So we've seen this phrase plastered all over Bonnie's social media that she was never vegan, she was just plant-based, and we've even had people argue about that in our comment section. I'm sure plenty of people have argued about it in her comment section. In order to go back to eating animals, it must mean that your ethics were not strong enough to keep you from doing that, so you were never vegan, you were just plant-based. We get it.
So here's the deal. Irrelevant.
Doesn't matter. I mean, she's not vegan now. It's not a point worth quarreling over.
I mean, it's like when a relationship ends, for example. If one partner says to the other, you never loved me. The two of you have decided that the relationship is over. So then whatever you thought in the past really doesn't matter.
No, the point is that she's not vegan now, and she's going back to eating fish and eggs now. So
Moving on.
Yeah. You are damaging the vegan community. Take that video down. The only one who is damaging the vegan community is those leaving crazy, nasty, and inconsiderate comments all over my social media. If you want to blame someone for giving veganism a bad rap, then look in the mirror. Shaming people for not being 100% vegan will only chase them further away and make them so scared to even try cutting down on animal products.
Let's make this perfectly clear. Someone posting a video saying that they're not vegan anymore is not and could not be damaging to the vegan community. If you're vegan because you're vegan for the animals, for your health, for the environment, there is no reason a video someone posts on YouTube should shake that. And we don't feel that Bonny should take down her video. However, as we said in our last mukbang, she could have front-loaded her video with the fact that the vegan diet was not the cause of her problems. Instead, she left it for the very end, which is technically fine because she did say watch the full video, but we know how YouTube works. Sometimes it's hard to keep people's attention all the way through to the end.
People don't watch the full video before leaving a comment?
And as for people leaving nasty comments on social media, welcome to the world of YouTube and social media. People leave nasty comments. Perhaps Bonny is not used to receiving that many because her channel was never truly controversial. She primarily posts vlog-style videos, not really touching on ethics that often.
Her viewers were blindsided, you know? They're expressing their concerns, and looking through her comments, there was understandable sadness and confusion and anger. You know, that's to be expected. And yes, some people can be harsher than other people, but that's true for vegans and non-vegans alike. And again, right there at the end, 100% vegan, there's no percentage of vegan.
It's just vegan or not vegan.
Just vegan or not vegan. I made an honest video about my journey and experiences, and I shouldn't be shamed and bullied into taking it down because it doesn't suit your agenda. Seriously, could this sound any more like a cult? If people can't speak freely about their experiences, then what exactly is going on here?
And she's right. People are absolutely free to talk about their experiences, just as she did. Which is why we wouldn't have suggested she take down her video necessarily.
And what is this about an agenda and a cult?
That's so un-Bonny-like. I mean, that's something that a non-vegan would say. Oh, wait. I mean, we can understand that the backlash is causing Bonny to become emotional and backed into a corner. And so she's saying things that she wouldn't normally say. I posted that on my channel, to be honest and real, not for views. You all thinking I did this for money have got me laughing because you clearly don't realize how little money YouTubers like me make. Filming that video was the hardest, scariest thing I have ever had to do, and you turn it into me getting views. Most of you wouldn't know what it's like to have the whole world judge you. If you did, you would know I would never put myself through something like this for some views.
Oh, the old not doing it for the views, yet putting it on my massive YouTube channel thing. If what people are saying is that Bonny made this video about not being vegan for more views, I think that's disingenuous, because as a vegan YouTuber, you're not going to come out and say you're not vegan anymore just to pick up more subs. Like that doesn't make sense. So according to data from Think Media, there are literally hundreds of thousands of YouTubers that are making 5-figure incomes. Now, yes, 5-figure could mean $10,000, it could mean $99,000. And there are also tens of thousands of YouTubers making 6-figure incomes. Now, it's impossible for us to know exactly how much money Bonny Rebecca makes because that all depends on AdSense revenue, which is dependent upon the ads that you place, how many ads you place,
where in the video you place them, if people skip them.
Yeah, etc. And we also don't know like what her rent is, what her expenses are, like all of that stuff is kind of unknowable.
Her video is monetized because there is a skippable ad at the beginning. There is a reason that videos are monetized, and that is to make money, like ours. Yeah. I mean, if YouTubers didn't want to make money off of these videos, we wouldn't monetize them. Plain and simple. These videos take time to film and countless hours to edit sometimes. You know, it becomes kind of a living. And we also know that there are countless other streams of income that people can take advantage of through social media, such as partnerships and sponsorships.
Yeah, like once you become a big enough presence, you can start having multiple sources of income.
She appears to make her living off of social media. That's okay. But to say that, you know, you're posting a video and not doing it for the views is contradictory to posting a video on YouTube. And along with that, we know that Bonny does feel the responsibility to be honest with her viewers. So that's what she's doing. And she's getting views for it. It's just a fact. And every single one of us knows what it's like to be judged. No one is special in that way. You know what it's like. We know what it's like. When we put out a video, we know we're going to get all sorts of comments, all sorts of opinions and language. That comes with the territory of making your life somewhat public.
You lied about how you felt in the past. Why did you keep promoting veganism? As I said many times in the video, this was a gradual realization over time. I was not lying when I said I felt good or that veganism had changed my life. Before going vegan, I had a lot of issues, and changing my diet made me feel so incredible, and I didn't realize how much further I had to go. I never ever once lied about how I felt or tried to mislead anyone. We completely understand that it was tough for Bonny to put a finger on exactly what was wrong with her health. You know, and she did a lot of trial and error. She sought the help of various people in the field. And of course, she didn't want to alarm her viewers. But again, knowing whether or not she was lying about how she felt in the past, it's unknowable and irrelevant.
You can go by their word.
Yeah.
And that's about all you have.
And this is her word.
I also think that deep down, I didn't want to acknowledge my issues fully because I felt a lot of pressure to be this vegan vision of health. I never wanted veganism to look bad. Sometimes I would get comments about my skin and people saying, if you're so healthy and veganism is so good, why do you and Tim have such bad skin? So I never allowed myself to acknowledge how I was feeling and didn't want to show the world my struggles. It wasn't until doctors helped me understand and pointed out my issues that I fully realized it. The last year was when things really went downhill, and as you may have noticed, I didn't upload that many videos because I was confused and scared. We can understand that she wanted veganism to look good. That's very clear in watching her videos. But this pressure that she's feeling must have come from within because Bonny doesn't run a health channel. You know, this is a lifestyle vlog. This is her going out with her friends and enjoying meals at various restaurants or going to the beach.
Yeah, I mean, she's not a fitness coach. She's not a personal trainer. She's not a nutritionist.
We never expected anything.
that. Yeah.
I mean, at least us. You're vegan. Whatever you want to do with your channel, that's fine. We watch it if we like it, and
if we don't, we don't.
But, you know, I can't say I ever had expectations of her.
No.
Like, you kind of know what her videos are going to entail, and whether she's going furniture shopping or to a Taylor Swift concert, I don't care. I love it.
And also, like, non-vegans have plenty of health issues. So if you're vegan, to say that, oh, you don't have any health issues, like, that's not realistic.
No.
I'm sorry that she felt the pressure to be perfect.
Why don't you just eat a low-fiber vegan diet like tofu and mock meats? Fiber is not the only issue here. Legumes, soy, and wheat all provoke my symptoms and cause inflammation, and also foods high in salicylates, histamines, and oxalates. This is a very complex topic. Please do not comment on the situation unless you know what you are talking about. It's dangerous.
Yes, we brought that up as something to consider in our last video, but apparently there is more to her inflammation than fiber.
Yeah, we were going by the information that she provided, and she specifically said that fiber was the problem. Now she brings up salicylates, oxalates, and histamines. These are chemical compounds that some people seem to have a sensitivity to. But like everything else, there are plant foods out there that have lower or higher levels of these chemical compounds.
For example, commenting you just need to eat more fermented foods, no, that could be one of the worst things to eat depending on the person. For Tim, eating spinach and sweet potato were making him worse by the day. Of course we never would have thought that, but gut issues are very complex, and sometimes the healthiest of foods can be damaging to those with underlying gut issues.
Again, underlying gut issues.
Yes.
So it's not the vegan diet.
Nope.
I mean, really, it's just a matter of sitting down and figuring out what plant foods you can eat that are low and the things that you need them to be low in.
And then you can see like what recipes you can make with those foods. I mean, the other thing that's really confusing about this is she did say in that video, and I believe she says in later on in these Instastories, is that she's only eating the fish and the eggs like once a day.
Right.
for one meal. That would just mean then that in order to find these foods, plant-based, that fit her dietary needs, she would only need to do that for part of one meal.
It just seems
in order to get your gut back on track, it seems like that might be a sacrifice that you would make in order to spare animal lives. You don't care about animals, you didn't even talk about them. Although originally we both became vegan for health reasons, it was the ethics that kept us vegan, even when we were struggling and having doubts. Tim put himself through hell and back for 5+ years for the animals, so please don't for a second think you have the right to say what we did and didn't care about. I find it very hard to talk about because making this choice was an extreme moral battle in my head and heart. And we'll never know what was in Bonny's head or her heart.
What we do know regarding the animals is that in her last video, she did say that she feels ethically okay with the eggs that she is eating and the fish that she is sourcing.
And she did say she doesn't feel comfortable eating chicken or meat, even though, as we know, fish is meat.
And fish are animals.
Yeah. So there is a concern for animals there. It's just, you know, a typical speciesist outlook on it.
Making this change has been the single hardest decision of my life, but because we had both exhausted all options, we had to put our health first. I am only including a small amount of fish and eggs in my diet, only what is necessary to heal. My diet still heavily revolves around plant foods, and I will still continue to be as cruelty-free and ethical as possible.
So right there, again, small amount of fish and eggs. So could this small amount of fish and eggs be replaced with low fiber, low salicylate,
Low
oxalate,
low histamine foods
Mm-hmm.
that are plant-based.
Is it possible? Well, we know it's possible because we know that
There are.
those foods exist.
Yeah. Have Bonny and Tim exhausted all options?
It was just a few pimples. Get over yourself. Not serious enough to change your diet. Anyone who comments something like this clearly didn't watch my full video or has never dealt with severe acne before. Having acne for years and years is very hard to deal with mentally and completely breaks down your self-esteem, especially for Tim as a male because they don't have makeup to cover up every day. Well, I had acne before I went vegan. I had acne as a teenager, and then going into adulthood, I had back acne that went away after I went vegan. So I know what it's like to deal with acne. I know it's not cool, it's not comfortable, makes you feel like you don't look good.
I've never had to deal with acne, luckily, although I did deal with atopic dermatitis because I found out I am severely allergic to coconut oil on my face. It took me about a year to find out what it was. I kept thinking that products that contained coconut oil were actually going to help, when in fact they were not helping. I had this awful rash on my face right around here. It was really gross. It was oozing and yellow and crusty.
You might even be able to go back through our videos and find it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even though it was covered up with makeup.
Yeah, that is true. I did have to cover that up with makeup a couple times when we shot our videos. While I had that rash, I did feel very self-conscious. There were a couple of times where I had to leave the house with a Band-Aid on my face.
Basically, we get it and
We agree.
we agree. Adult acne should not be ignored or brushed aside, as it can be a sign of something very serious happening deep down. That being said, acne was the last of our worries. Tim's digestive issues, depression, anxiety, insomnia, and weight loss, to name a few. Yeah, I mean, adult acne should not be brushed aside. It's not normal. You know, if you're an adult and you have acne, there's probably something
going on.
You're not going through puberty anymore.
Well, skin is your largest organ, and if there is something manifesting on it, then that must mean that there is something causing that, underlying. So that's something to investigate.
It does seem, though, that we're hearing a lot about Tim.
Yeah.
And I get it. They're a couple.
Yeah.
We're a couple.
Yeah.
And so I care about you.
And I care about you.
But we're separate people.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I mean, it sounds like Tim's issues appear to have been more severe than Bonny's. I don't know. But it almost feels like Bonny is using Tim's issues to explain her decision to not be vegan.
At least he comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And it's Bonny's channel. It's Bonny's Instagram, Bonny's YouTube.
My own digestive problems and my predisposition to rheumatoid arthritis were my main concerns. I don't think most people know how serious that immune disease is. My dad at my age had his first symptoms and at 30 was already consumed by the disease. My gut was so inflamed and irritated, which would more than likely lead to autoimmune issues if left untreated. hence why I picked an autoimmune specialist doctor to take my tests. We're not by any means downplaying the severity of rheumatoid arthritis, and we are not questioning her dad's symptoms or hers. We're saying that if a dietary change is required for her medical condition or conditions, she still has the option of making a list of plant foods that suit those dietary needs.
Having predisposed genes to a serious disease is obviously very scary, especially after seeing a loved one live through it. Once I had a specialist tell me this is very real and I'm putting myself in a dangerous situation, it all sunk in. I don't see how it could ever be considered unethical of me to put my health first. That is what we call a straw man argument, because we're not saying that it's unethical for you to put your health first.
But we feel that it is a little presumptuous to think that you have reached the be-all and end-all of all conclusions. This kind of also speaks to the power and responsibility that doctors have. And as we know, most doctors don't receive adequate nutrition training. And we get it. A professional is telling her to eat fish and eggs and that is going to make it better. That's kind of scary. If we take a step back, how could the flesh of a fish or the ovulation of a chicken help?
And if it's the low fiber thing, then you got low fiber plant foods. Then if it's the low histamine thing, then you got again, this just goes back to making a list of plant foods that suit your needs.
You only saw naturopaths and quacks, not real doctors. Well, no. As I said in the video, we saw a combination of naturopaths, nutritionists, and medical doctors. The last doctor we saw that implemented my diet changes was a medical doctor and specialist. But were they plant-based?
We don't know. She didn't say. I would assume they're not plant-based. That's the thing. Most doctors, if they're not plant-based, they're not very likely to recommend a plant-based diet. And if they are plant-based, they're not likely to recommend a meat-based diet. So if she didn't see any plant-based doctors, I think maybe at least go see one or two.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a later slide.
You never ate a balanced vegan diet, just fads, etc. Although I started out on high-carb, low-fat diet, which very well may have triggered our issues, hard to say, we tried many variations of a vegan diet, lastly being a very balanced vegan diet, including have junk foods and treats sometimes. Honestly, don't even know why I have to say this when it's very clear from all my videos what I was eating. Issues were underlying, and then yes, maybe jumping into the full-on, slamming down a ton of fruit, ton of veg, the raw vegan diet. Maybe that exacerbated the issues.
That's what she said.
That is what she said.
She's trying to get us all the information. It's impossible to summarize 5 years of her life, so we're,
right.
She's right. We try to fill in the gaps. We're trying to make sense of this, come up with something that can possibly offer our viewers a little bit of comfort and strength. You should look into Medical Medium and Goji Man. Thank you for your recommendations. Since we have been researching about the gut for a long time now, of course we came across the Medical Medium. I have tried his protocol and read his book. The celery juice made me literally cramp up with stomach pain and not be able to move for hours. I tried it for a week, but didn't continue as it was too painful. We were both also tested for strep and nothing came back. Goji Man, yes, we also found him a while ago when we first researched about SIBO. Tim did reach out to him, but he was busy at the time with uni work, so we ended up going to a doctor instead to run the tests, but very thankful for him because he led us in a good path. It looks like she did reach out to a couple people, and Goji Man has actually since put out a video apologizing for not getting back to her, but has since offered her help, which we hope Bonny knows about. She doesn't seem interested.
Reading this is she's yeah, Goji Man said he was busy with uni work, so...
Yeah,
but if now he's willing to help you, are you going to take him up on that offer?
Because now you have pretty much the entire vegan community in on this, and I'm sure it's getting through to the plant-based medical doctor community as well, and people are offering to help, and they're reaching out. So will she take the help?
I just don't understand. I don't expect you to understand my choices. That's where empathy comes in. YouTube Breen Brown on empathy. Plus, it's okay to not have the answers or understand someone's health issues. That's what doctors are for. Stop trying to offer your advice and treatments through a screen. That is not your place. Just because you are vegan and have read some studies or watched a few documentaries does not make you a health expert. Trust me, I used to have the same mindset, and oh how I regret being such a know-it-all.
I don't think that any one of us can claim to be a know-it-all. I mean, we're just going off by what she tells us. And she told us that the problem was fiber, and now she's saying that she needs foods that are lower in all these other chemical compounds. And then she said she can't have soy, legumes, or wheat. So we're just going by what she's telling us and trying to do our research and trying to learn more. I mean, we're always trying to learn more, aren't we? And yes, it's okay to not have all the answers. So we hope that she continues to seek out more help. And like she said in a previous slide, people should be free to talk about their experiences, right? We feel it's perfectly okay to offer advice because people care about you and people care about the animals. It is then, though, her responsibility to double check and research that advice if something about it strikes her. Like if we're having an issue and we put it out there and we are reading through the comments and we go, oh, well, that seems interesting. Maybe we should look into that.
It is completely impossible for me to convey to you what we have really been through in a 40-minute long video. So naturally, people are going to assume and try to fill in the blanks. But there is nothing more frustrating than having something so close to your heart be manipulated and twisted into something so far from the truth. It's one thing to have your partner so sick mentally and physically, then on top of that to have health issues yourself, then on top of that to have the whole world watching it and judging it and feeling the immense pressure to live up to what everyone expects from you. I mean, again, she's putting these videos out there for people to watch.
I mean, she could turn the comments off if she wanted to.
Again, maybe she's not used to controversy. With a fun, upbeat lifestyle vlogging channel, she doesn't really dive into a lot of the more controversial topics, or she only very lightly touches on them.
There really is only so much criticism, judgment, and shaming one person can take. Whatever chance there was of me returning to a vegan lifestyle and labeling myself vegan again has been completely crushed by the response I have received to this video. I'm shocked beyond belief that a community based around compassion can be so aggressive and cruel. It's one thing to comment and judge, and then another to send death threats and try to stalk down my address. I have never felt so unsafe and misunderstood. While we do not condone death threats or stalking anyone's address, this is possibly the most non-vegan comment a non-vegan can make next to bacon. That it is other people's fault that they are not choosing to go vegan, or in Bonny's case, return to being vegan. You don't go vegan to join a community of people. You go vegan to help the animals, to help the planet, to help the environment, your health, other people's health. It's a bit of a shocking statement to make, and I think it is emotionally fueled. I mean, she seems to be shocked at the fact that all of her loving, compassionate followers, whom she herself influenced and fed hours upon hours of information, are now upset that someone they admired and trusted has seemingly turned her back on them and veganism. And now we are the others.
We've heard a similar thing from non-vegans where they say, I would try veganism, but I don't want to be associated with vegans. I don't want to be in that group.
Yeah.
Vegans are mean or whatever.
It comes down to what's right. You don't do what's right because of other people. You do what's right because it's right.
And are there mean vegans? Yes. Guess what? There are mean non-vegans too. I think something that scares me the most is I see parts of myself from the past in some of these judgmental, cruel comments. I have lacked empathy in the past, was a know-it-all, and I passed judgment on those that quit being vegan. That has all come back to bite me in the ass.
This statement kind of shows, I think, why people are feeling so shocked and angered. Bonny is creating this chasm of separation from the community that she used to be a part of. We would hope, however, that her followers are strong-willed and not easily swayed by the direction that someone with unique health issues has decided to take with their lives.
She's retconning her past a little bit here. She's saying, I used to be that judgmental, cruel vegan, leaving the cruel comments, not being understanding, when that wasn't Bonny.
No.
She was nice. She was compassionate. She was understanding. She's like, oh yeah, no, I was that cruel vegan that now I'm experiencing. Yeah, we never saw that. Please try to remember I am a real person behind the screen, a very sensitive one, and having followers does not change how I feel and respond to hate. Online bullying is not okay. If you wouldn't say it to my face, then don't type it. You have no idea how someone might take what you are saying or how far it will push them.
I wonder if she would say any of this in a video. I mean, there are some pretty harsh statements in there. But yes, absolutely, online bullying is not okay. And of course she is a real person with real feelings, and we know that she is hurting. It hurts us too, you know? Now, to end this on a much more positive note, to all those that are being supportive, loving, empathic, and understanding, thank you for being a huge light in this world. Your messages, emails, and comments have brought me back from a very dark place this week, and although I can't get back to you all, I am reading every single one that I receive. You have taken the time to reach out at a really low time for me, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you for being so vulnerable and being brave enough to share your support, stories, similar experiences. You give me hope and actually make me excited for the future. I am now going to try and focus my energy into you and not the negativity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I think the concerning thing here is that Bonny only seems to be acknowledging the comments and advice that justify her choices, that make her feel good about her decision. Is she open to other information?
It seems like she's viewing plant-based advice as a dig or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to block that negativity. People are just making suggestions, offering advice, making recommendations, trying to help.
Based on their experiences or their knowledge. I mean, it seems that the community is coming together to try and figure this out. And it's understandable that Bonny feels overwhelmed by all of it and confused and sad. I mean, these are all very emotional posts. Now we have a screenshot. We actually saw this post last night, even before we saw that Bonny had posted all of these Insta stories. Dr. Garth Davis made a post on his Instagram that I suppose we will read to you.
He took it down.
He took it down. Okay. Well, it was up, so we will read it to you because she has a screenshot of it. And here's the thing, we're not censoring this because this was a pretty bad move on his part.
Yeah.
He's a plant-based doctor, and he posted, it does get cut off because the screenshot that she's using cuts it off. But we will read to you, I should have taken a screenshot of it when I saw it, but we will read the first part. He posted a screenshot of Bonny's video, Why I'm No Longer Vegan, and then wrote, "Can I take a moment to just express my utter frustration with the world? Apparently the vegan community is second-guessing their choices because some young girl on YouTube said she got acne from being vegan. Worse yet, she apparently explains the science as to why. For the love of God, why in the world do people make choices based on people with zero expertise on YouTube? I just don't get it. Do you really think this girl has a clue? She says going vegan gives you leaky gut. I cannot even begin to tell you how utterly stupid that is. Leaky gut is primarily caused by saturated fat causing damage to cell gap junctions in intestinal lining. So switching to meat would make it worse. Meat would also add endotoxins, causing inflammation. Crazy that many people switch to vegan because of acne. They were eating meat before, so why do they have acne? Vegans can get acne just as they can get, and that's where it gets cut off." She writes on top of this, "Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, a plant-based doctor and grown man publicly shames me and straight up lies about what I said in my video."
Yeah, so this was not a good move on the part of Dr. Garth Davis.
It is not only emotionally charged, but it does prove that he didn't watch her video.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. She does say that veganism did not cause her problems.
So yeah, we get it. That was not great on his part.
I doubt he has time to sit around and watch 40-minute long YouTube videos. Probably he was told the wrong information and then he reacted emotionally, which was wrong of him to do because if you don't have the knowledge yourself, you know, if you're going to make a post about a video, you should go back and watch the video. So that was bad.
The only good point he makes is that it is true that all these people are feeling doubtful about veganism based on a video someone put up on YouTube.
Right.
That's the only thing, but he should not have done this. So we are so sorry that that happened.
That was not the right response from Dr. Garth Davis.
Dr. Garth Davis, you were one of the many plant-based doctors I looked up to and reached out to for help. Now you make a post shaming me for my experiences, straight up lie about what I said in my video, and manipulate the situation into something so far from the truth. Did you even watch it? You are making assumptions about my health through a screen? As a health professional, I am speechless. You are a grown man. Disgusting.
I've not ever heard Bonny Rebecca curse like that. Usually it's done in like a jokey way or an under the breath way.
Yeah.
I can tell she's very mad, very upset.
Rightfully so. I would be too. I mean, if he truly wanted to help her, why didn't he reach out to her privately?
And if he did now take it down, which it looks like he did, I mean, I would have issued an apology response.
Yeah.
That's just me. I mean, if you made a post so public and it got so many comments, you don't just like take it down and pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
Let's check real quick to make sure his other posts didn't.
Which one?
Like his other posts since.
Okay, he did actually post something today.
He's not really addressing the issue that people had, which was you made a comment about someone's video and it was a video you didn't watch. So yeah, if you want to go into vegans hating on other vegans, that's a separate topic. He's not addressing what people were upset about with his post, and he's not apologizing for it either. And now he's trying to backpedal and reframe the discussion. So that is a big misstep and something that we do not agree with.
And on that note, we hope that Dr. Garth Davis's actions or words are not reflective of the community of amazing plant-based doctors that we have out there. Okay, we're almost done here, guys. Dr. Garth Davis, if I was treating this girl, I would be sure she has enough omega-3s and tell her to avoid GMOs. That came later in the post that was cut off. Well, thank God you aren't my doctor, because I would never want someone to treat me over a screen without even seeing my tests. I've been supplementing DHA and omega-3s for over 2 years and never consumed GMO food. Thank you for that cutting-edge advice. Just in case there are others that haven't seen my video. I never blamed my issues on veganism, never said veganism causes anything, don't have anything but appreciation and love for the vegan diet. If you are thriving on a vegan diet, yes, that makes me so happy. Everyone is different. I am not a professional. Don't take my experience for your own. Seek medicinal help if you are struggling. Also, the diet I eat now is nothing like before I was vegan. If it wasn't the only thing that helped my symptoms, I wouldn't still be doing it. So it seems clear to us, based on all these posts, that Bonny Rebecca has no intention of returning to a completely plant-based diet, at least not anytime soon. Her mind seems pretty made up. It is unfortunate that certain members of the vegan community have responded in the ways that they have, but we don't feel that those insensitive comments should be applied to the entire vegan community, a community that she was once a part of. That's just not who we are.
And it should speak to you guys out there. If you're out there doing outreach, if you're doing cubes, if you're going to vigils, if you are, maybe you're getting training in the medical field and you want to become a plant-based doctor. You know, there's a lot of young people watching YouTube. If your goal is to change the world and get the world to go vegan, this should at least be a lesson in how respectful you need to be. Because Bonny puts out this video, people have this huge emotional backlash, which causes her to have a huge emotional backlash. And then Dr. Davis, you know, he's misinformed, he gets told the wrong thing, and then he has an emotional backlash without actually watching the video, and that causes another backlash. It's like, we have to be responsible with what we say and with how we say it.
What we put out there. We know a lot of people are hurting, including Bonny, and all we can do over here moving forward is continue to be positive, encouraging, loving, and informative examples in the vegan community.
So those are our thoughts on Bonny Rebecca's Instastories regarding her video, Why I'm No Longer Vegan. If you haven't seen our last mukbang, we did do an entire mukbang about that video. You can check that out in the description below. You can watch her video in full in the description below. And as always, if you like this video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up down below. That really helps us out. And leave a comment down there. Let us know your thoughts.
And if you haven't already, subscribe! And make sure you crush that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we put up a video. And check out out our Instagram and Facebook pages and Etsy store for some cool vegan swag. And to all of our patrons on Patreon, thank you so much. You continue to support our activism, you continue to support these videos and our research, everything we do in the vegan community. So thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
We can put you in the bedroom, but I think that she's gonna meow from the bedroom if we do that. Go ahead. Lay down, my angel.
Good job, Gracie.
There we go.
Very
Oh.
good. Perhaps Bonnie is. Oh, for f***'s sake, Gracie May. I'm
Gracie.
Gracie May. We're doing this
What?
again?
Your world